everybody, I'm Tara from Crooked Row. It's a little bit sunny outside today. It's beautiful. It is just gorgeous here on the farm, but I checked our local forecast and in 2 days it's going to be in the 20s at night. It might still be, 60s through the day, but at night it's going to be in the 20s. So even cold weather crops can actually have some damage to it. We're going to work on covering them with the row covers. So this even applies to our raised beds. Now I have kale planted in the ground, and that is going to be okay for a little while longer until we get a super hard frost. But I even may go ahead and cover those too. I just don't want to have any losses and carry this as far into winter as you can, because everybody has to remember that you can actually keep your crops well in the cool weather crops well into the winter. And so you don't have to rely on the grocery stores. You can have your own produce right at home. So I'm just going to show you a quick view of my raised beds as they are right now. We have been harvesting and pulling some stuff out. So there are some empty spots, but I hope to get those filled too. So let's look at it. So here's our first raised bed. And we have lettuce and some spinach, and we have tatsoi and radishes and some beautiful crops in here that I'd really like to keep at least into January, maybe even February if I can, if I'm lucky. And we have a second bed. This bed has suffered a little bit of frost damage already. We did have one night that had some frost conditions, and it kind of killed off some of the greens of the onions, so they look a little ragged, and a little bit of that May Queen lettuce right here. Actually, can you see that right there? It is a little bit damaged, but nothing that can't still survive. You can probably hear the sprinkler. I've got the sprinkler going because we also want to keep things watered even through cold weather. So the carrots are looking great, and hopefully we'll be able to harvest those even throughout the winter. So let's get started on showing how to cover up your raised beds. Here are my kale beds, and these don't need covered right away, but I will eventually cover these with row covers as well. Here is the 1,000 head kale, like over here, which is gonna supposedly get extremely large. And you actually see like little green onions popping up in the row. I must have not have picked out all the onions in here. And we do have one very sparse cabbage row also, and that's because my pregnant dairy cow got into it again and ate more cabbage. So the outside row is more of the Russian red and the ragged jack kale. In the middle is also more we do have dinosaur kale in here somewhere as well, but this bed is all kind of just full of beautiful, beautiful kale to last us through the winter. Kale gets more tender and more sweet through frosts, so you'll want to go ahead and let your kale be in the cold as well. But eventually, yeah, you can go ahead and cover that as well. Okay, so we start off, I purchased these. They're just hollow tubes, and they come with like the Amazon. I got mine off of Amazon like everybody does, and they are sold in the same like spot that the row covers are, the ag row covers. And they also come with these inserts, and you just insert it in the end of the tube and then push them together pretty good, and then you just add another. And these are adjustable so that you can put them in whatever situation you have. Maybe your beds are larger than mine or wider than mine, but these are perfect because they are so adjustable. So I'll be able to use these as well in the ones that I do in the ground for my kale. So you can use them in this situation, that situation, whatever your situation is. So, and then we already have 2 set up down here. And I'm gonna put another one in right by where my beautiful mushrooms are growing. And you just make sure that they're good and solid in the ground. And there you have it. And now me and the boys, we're gonna stick the row covers on. And with the row covers, you put those on, you can cut your row covers. Like if you're gonna use the same ones every year, you can cut your row covers to fit your actual situation. I'm not gonna do that today. I'm not gonna cut it to size. Just make sure that if you do that, that there is plenty on each end to go ahead and stuff and clip so that it stays closed. Because remember, the whole point of doing this is that we want to keep in heat in these row covers. There are other things that we could do, like the wooden collars that are actually kind of slanted with a plexiglass top to it. And those really hold in a bunch of heat, and you actually start a whole new microclimate for that. We're not doing that today. We might do that in the middle of the season, and if we do, we'll go ahead and show you how we build it and how much the materials were and stuff. But for today, we are doing, you can hear Maggie in the background and my rooster. It's never a dull moment on the farm. But today we're gonna go ahead and do these simple row covers, and I just wanted you along so you are reminded that the cold is coming at night first, and so we have to protect what we have against the cold. So let's get started with those row covers. Okay, well, we actually have both beds covered. I think we might get some like small sandbags or something to put on the sides. I'm actually gonna get some more of the posts to run down the middle and attach those as well. Every setup is gonna be different. Every year is probably different. We know that our garden is different every year, isn't it?
Yes.
Every single year it's different. So we will update you with how long this lasts. Our garden typically lasts into at least mid-January. We get pretty cold here. On warm years, we stay in the 20s, and on cold years, we go below 0. So we're in zone 6. Check what your gardening zone is, and some people don't need covers at all, and you can just use cold weather crops. Lucky. We have to cover all our stuff and see how long that's going to last us. But I'll give you an update in the middle of winter and let you know just how far we got. So remember, if we can put on row covers,
Anybody can. Bye.
Bye.